Hey guys, how's it going? This is Robbie One Kenobi back with, I believe, my third video in like 2 weeks. I've been on a roll lately with these videos, and I'm happy that I'm able to produce more content lately with my free time. So this is my WWE Money in the Bank 2015 pay-per-view review. And overall, guys, I thought this was a very good show. A lot better than Elimination Chamber 2 weeks ago, that's for damn sure. Very entertaining, very good show for the most part. Fun to sit through from beginning to end. So let's get right down to the review. The actual match card kicked off with the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I was really surprised with, that they went with the Money in the Bank ladder match first. I honestly thought that the Tag Team Championship match or the Intercontinental Championship match would have kicked off the show, but we went with the Money in the Bank ladder match. I thought this match was a very good opener. Not the best Money in the Bank ladder match, but definitely not the worst. It was still a very good ladder match. You had some good spots here and there. Roman Reigns had a few good spots. He powerbombed Kofi Kingston onto a ladder, and then he caught Adrian Neville, who was going for a Hurricane Rana, and powerbombed Neville on top of Kingston, who was still laying prone on that ladder that he had just gotten powerbombed on. Roman Reigns looked pretty strong in this match. Neville had a good showing too. I honestly thought Neville was going to have a more impressive showing, but he had a good showing for the most part. Not much happened in like the first 2-3 minutes of the match because they were all trying to, ascend to the top of the ladder, try to get the briefcase down first. The New Day, they created some interference later on in the match towards the end. There were not a lot of memorable spots in this Money in the Bank ladder match. I still thought it was very good. There were good spots here and there, but not a lot of, standout spots that I can remember. I honestly thought going into this match, because if you remember my Elimination Chamber review, I said that when you looked at the six, because Kane hadn't been announced at that time, you look at the six who were in the match, Roman Reigns was the obvious pick when you narrow the field down, the playing field, so to speak. Roman was the obvious choice. And I honestly thought he was going to win. So he had pretty much everybody was laid out. Ladder was set up in the middle of the ring. Roman began to climb the ladder. And right when it looked like he was going to get the briefcase, Bray Wyatt came out. And Bray Wyatt knocked Roman off the ladder, laid him out with Sister Abigail to a huge pop from the crowd. And from there, I was like, oh, snap, who's going to win it now? Because if Roman just got laid out, I honestly did not think they would give it to Neville or Kofi Kingston. Maybe they give it to Dolph Ziggler. In the end, it was Sheamus who ended up winning this match. Sheamus is your new Mr. Money in the Bank, and that really surprised me because I honestly did not think Sheamus was going to win. Neville, they teased that Neville might win it because when it looked like no one was going to prevent Sheamus from winning, Neville actually made it up to the top of the ladder and fought to try and prevent Sheamus from winning. But Sheamus knocked him off the ladder in one of the weakest finishes I've seen in a while, especially for a ladder match. Basically, Sheamus just grabbed him by the head, the hair. It looked like he had a Muda lock on him. Not a Muda lock, like a Tongan death grip kind of move on the head. Oh man, that claw move. I can't remember its name, but that claw that you perform from the claw move. I'm just gonna go with the claw move. I don't want to go into detail. But yeah, Sheamus, it looked like he was doing that, and then he was just pulling Neville by the hair, and then he threw him down, unhooked the briefcase, and Sheamus won the match. Pretty weak finish to the match, but overall, it was, like I said, a very good Money in the Bank ladder match. Not the best, but not the worst. But this is probably going to be a forgettable Money in the Bank ladder match. Really did not expect Sheamus to win. I honestly thought Roman Reigns was going to win. But now we're going to get Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt at Battleground, which I'm interested in seeing how that goes down. Although Roman's going to most likely win. But I'm really interested in the promos that these two are going to cut in the weeks leading up to this feud. And there's 5 weeks before Battleground. This isn't going to be another 2-week pay-per-view. There's 5 weeks to build up Battleground. So, yeah, Sheamus wins Money in the Bank. Not the best pick. I'm interested in seeing where WWE goes with this. Will Sheamus drop the briefcase to somebody? Will he drop it to Roman eventually? But, yeah, Sheamus is Mr. Money in the Bank. And like I said, I enjoyed the match. I was surprised they decided to have this match kick off the show, but it was a very good opener, 3.25 stars. And of course, all my match ratings are below in the description box. Next, we had the Divas Championship match. Nikki Bella defending against Paige. And this was a damn good Divas match. This was a hard-hitting physical Divas match. Props to both Nikki and Paige for going out there and putting on a real good Divas match. You know, what more can I say? I can't really think of many notable spots in this match. I was just really impressed with how hard-hitting and physical this match got. And like I said, props to Nikki and Paige for delivering a really good Divas match. We had another dusty finish at the end of this match, and I'm assuming they went with a dusty finish in honor of the late great Dusty Rhodes, who they paid their respects to throughout the show, including a 10-bell salute at the beginning of the show. But yeah, basically what happened was you had Nikki and Paige. They both laid each other out with forearms on the top turnbuckle, so they both fell to the ground. Immediately, I predicted we were going to see some twin magic. Bree switched with Nikki. And then they tried the same ending from a few weeks ago on Raw, where Bree rolled Paige up, but Paige reversed the small package, got the 1, 2, 3. It appeared that Paige won the match, but then Brie Bella started pleading with the referee and then started pulling, I guess, tissues from her bra. I'm not sure. It was weird, but then after Paige laid Brie out, Nikki came from behind and laid Paige out with her elbow and then delivered the rack attack and retained her Divas Championship. I honestly thought that finish could have been better because you would have thought by now that Paige, booking-wise, kayfabe-wise, would have known to turn around and, like, countered Nikki's elbow or just, like, caught her off guard with an attack or something. They could have done that. They could have booked that a little better. But like I said, I was fine with how the match was because it was very hard-hitting Divas match, probably the most hard-hitting Divas match I've seen in a while. And once again, you know, props to Nikki and Paige for the match that they delivered. Now the question is, does the Nikki Paige feud continue, or do we finally call up Charlotte to the main roster and give her a run with the Divas Championship? I mean, I can't really think of anybody else who will pose a threat to Nikki and the Divas Championship because of how Nikki's been built and because of how other Divas have been built, unfortunately. I mean, maybe Tamina. You can't turn Naomi face because she just turned heel. So we'll see what happens with regards to Nikki and the Divas Championship and the landscape of the Divas on the main roster. Next up, we had the Intercontinental Championship. Ryback, defending against the Big Show. Now, Big Show, in my opinion, isn't the best choice for Ryback to have his first official title defense against, but I will give these two guys credit for what this match was. It was a good big man match because, one, it was under 6 minutes, and two, it did what it needed to do. They hit some big moves. It wasn't slow I felt it wasn't slow or dull. They did what they had to do. In my opinion, they put on a good big man match. Now, the ending, well, first let me get to the match itself because I honestly thought Ryback was going to squash Big Show because literally when the match starts, Big Show comes charging at Ryback. Ryback drills him with a spine buster, mows him down with the meat hook clothesline, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to squash Big Show. Once he hits Shell Shock, it's over. And to be honest, that's how it should have been booked. Ryback should have gone in there, mowed down Big Show, hit him with Shell Shock, and squashed him. But the match went on for a few more minutes. Like I said, I was fine with how it went because it wasn't dull. It wasn't slow. It was the typical big man match that you would expect. It did what it needed to do within 6 minutes. And you had The Miz outside on commentary, and I knew he was going to get involved. When I saw him sit down at the commentator's booth, I said, he's either going to inadvertently cost Big Show the match, or he's going to just cause a disqualification. And that's what he did. He attacked both guys, and then he got the hell out of there. So we're most likely going to get Ryback versus Miz versus Big Show at Battleground in a triple threat match. Sucks that Ryback's first title defense ended in the DQ. I'm hoping his Intercontinental Championship reign goes smoother, but for the most part, it was a good, solid big man match, and I honestly think that Big Show should have gotten squashed by Ryback. Ryback should have mowed him down in less than a minute. But like I said, it was good, and it was solid, and it did what it needed to do within the 6 minutes that it was given. Next, we got the rematch between Kevin Owens and John Cena. And for the record, this was not the most anticipated rematch in recent memory. They hyped this thing like it was the most anticipated rematch. Yes, I was excited to see it, although I was concerned about what the result was going to be. But this was not the most anticipated rematch. They have a knack now of saying whenever Cena's in a rematch with somebody, like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, or in this case Kevin Owens, they hype it up as the most anticipated match in recent memory when it wasn't. Nothing against Cena and Brock's first match at SummerSlam and the rematch at Night of Champions, but the rematch was not the most anticipated match. If it had like a year build and then was to main event this year's SummerSlam, it would be. But that's sort of like becoming a pet peeve that these Cena rematches are being hyped as the most anticipated rematch in recent memory. But getting back to this match, this was an incredible rematch between these two. Once again, Kevin Owens goes out there, does his thing. He takes the fight to John Cena. John Cena pulling off some new moves in his from his arsenal, including this insane like sunset flip, not pile driver, but it's that flipping powerbomb move that Rey Mysterio did like early in his WWE career. They went at it. Another incredible match. I just was not a fan of the ending because this is what I was concerned about. John Cena hit a springboard stunner after these guys went back and forth for 20, 25 minutes. And then he dropped Kevin Owens with an AA and got the 1-2-3 to get his win back and even this thing out at one victory apiece. I was concerned from the moment that this rematch was announced that Kevin Owens was going to lose to John Cena because John Cena always has to get his win back in rematches. I don't know of one guy, with the exception of CM Punk, but Punk lost or beat Cena under controversy, that's beaten John Cena clean twice in a row. Unfortunately, this loss to Cena derails a little bit of Kevin Owens' momentum because he was being built as this unstoppable monster, this unstoppable badass. And because John Cena had to get his win back, that momentum ultimately got derailed. Now, I don't think it's been permanently derailed, but I am now interested in seeing where WWE goes with Kevin Owens from here because, like I said in the Elimination Chamber review, he was the hottest commodity that the company has. And to have him lose to Cena in this rematch was foolish because Cena doesn't need this win. I've said this before. I have nothing against Cena because I respect the guy for what he's achieved and for what he stands for as an ambassador for both WWE and sports entertainment in general. But John Cena really did not need this win. Kevin Owens could have benefited from this win. If they wanted John Cena, you know what? I would have been fine if John Cena won by DQ or countout. If Kevin Owens did something heelish that got himself DQ'd or got himself counted out, and he continued to just maul John Cena and just lay John Cena out, I would have had no problem if Cena won via countout or disqualification because then that keeps Kevin Owens' momentum going as long as it was booked properly. But once again, John Cena has to get his win back, and he's derailed a bit of Kevin Owens' momentum because Kevin Owens looked to be the next Brock Lesnar in a sense of he's unstoppable. He's this ruthless monster. He's a beast. All I can do is pray that WWE does not drop the ball with Kevin Owens. And, this is why people are, oh man, I had the word in my mind. This is why they resent John Cena. Because when a new, young, potential star steps up to face Cena, Cena usually beats the guy, and ultimately kills that guy's momentum. It happened with Bray Wyatt last year. Unfortunately, it happened with Rusev. And yes, if you saw my WrestleMania 31 weekend story, you know I held the John Cena Never Give Up towel in support because I ordered it from WWE shop. I had a feeling Cena was going to win. I was just hoping that Rusev would somehow regain that momentum in a future rematch or something. But it always happens. It happened with Bray Wyatt. It happened with Rusev. And it just happened last night with Kevin Owens. Remember, I'm recording this as of Monday in case you listen to this on Tuesday or Wednesday. But John Cena didn't need that win. Kevin Owens is the hottest commodity in the WWE. But John Cena had to get his win back. And I read in a report that there were some in backstage and creative that felt Kevin Owens should win the match. But it was ultimately up to Vince McMahon. And the Lex Man brought something up that John Cena, I'm sure, has to somewhere disagree with getting the win over Kevin Owens, because Cena even disagreed with him going over Bray Wyatt. He agreed that it was stupid for him to bury Bray Wyatt the way he did. So that shows you that Cena cares at least. I mean, I think he should have stepped up and said, hey, let this guy beat me again. You've got something with this guy. You know, I want to help put him over. But he had to get his win back. And I think Vince McMahon was the last guy to make the decision on that. Cena winning doesn't take away from how awesome this match was. Kevin Owens, again, went out there, took the fight to John Cena. It was pro Kevin Owens crowd. I mean, they were chanting NXT, fight Owens, fight. You heard the loudest "You Can't See Me" when Owens did the 5-knuckle shuffle. I've said it before. Kevin Owens is the hottest commodity in this company. But his momentum just got derailed a bit by losing to John Cena 2 weeks after he beat Cena in the biggest win of his career. So now, I'm not sure if they're going to do a rubber match at Battleground. I personally don't want to see a rubber match at Battleground. Personally, how I would book this thing is John Cena, I need to get to the ending of this match or the post-match to explain where I would go with this whole situation. John Cena he shook Kevin Owens' hand. He offered his hand to Kevin Owens, and Owens shook it. He raised Kevin Owens' hand in a sign of respect. Kevin Owens kicked him so hard in the gut, he knocked him out of the ring, and then powerbombed him on the apron. Real cool moment. I don't know if it helps to rebuild some of Owens' momentum, but still, real cool moment. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Kevin Owens lost to John Cena. But still, in defeat, Kevin Owens proves himself to be a badass by powerbombing John Cena on the apron. Now, the one thing I can't take away from this is Kevin Owens could come out and brag how, yeah, John Cena beat me, but who walked out on his own 2 feet at the end of the match? John Cena had to be escorted to the back by the referees because he was injured. He suffered that powerbomb on the apron. Kevin Owens walked out on his own will. So Kevin Owens can use that against John Cena. But if they're going to do a rubber match, the way I would personally book it is, like I just said, have Kevin Owens come out, brag that he injured John Cena. He laid him out. He left him broken, so to speak. He left Cena injured. The referees had to attend to him. Kevin Owens walked out on his own. So who's the real winner when you look at it? You could have John Cena come out saying that he wants one more match with Kevin Owens to ultimately shut him up and bring him down. And Kevin Owens can come out and say, you know what? You may have beat me, but guess who walked out on his own 2 feet? Guess who walked out? And then Kevin Owens can say, you know what? I've already proven I'm better than you in more ways than one. So I'm moving on. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight you one more time. And then Kevin Owens hopefully can continue to be this rampage and badass on both NXT and the main roster. And then leading up to WrestleMania, you can have John Cena, if Cena's still United States champion by the time around WrestleMania time, you can have Kevin Owens screw John Cena out of the United States Championship. And then Kevin Owens can say, Cena can come out and challenge Kevin Owens one final time, and then Kevin Owens says, okay, you know what? You want to go toe-to-toe with me one more time at WrestleMania? I do. You're on one condition, and that condition is if I beat you, your career is over. Because I don't think Cena needs many more wins. I mean, he's been wrestling since 2001. He's been with the company for more than 10 years. I mean, what else is there for John Cena left to accomplish? I think if they want to do a John Cena, Kevin Owens rubber match, do it at WrestleMania with the stipulation that if John Cena loses, he must retire. And then have Kevin Owens beat him in impressive fashion one final time. And then that's it. John Cena retires. Kevin Owens can forever be remembered as the man that ended the career of Super Cena. That's how I personally would build it. Let's see where WWE goes with this, but I'm praying that Kevin Owens is able to rebound from this. I'm praying he does not lose at Battleground if they do a rubber match, which is going to be even more stupid if they do. We'll go from there. But like I said, this was undoubtedly an incredible match. Second best match of the night, in my opinion. 4 stars. The fact that Cena won doesn't take away from the fact that these two put on another incredible match. And I really enjoyed this match a lot more than the Elimination Chamber match. Although I did say that was another incredible match. And you may remember my star ratings for that match. But for this match, the rematch, I definitely had to give it at least 4 stars. All right. I went on quite a bit of rant about that Kevin Owens, John Cena rematch. So let's start wrapping this thing up. Next, we had the WWE Tag Team Championship match, the New Day defending against the Primetime Players. This was, it was decent, but it was what you would see on a typical Monday Night Raw tag match. The result, though, surprised me. The Primetime Players actually got a clean victory over the New Day to win the WWE Tag Team Championships. That shocked me because the ending was so anticlimactic. Titus O'Neil got the fresh tag. He was mowing down Big E and Xavier Woods. And then Xavier Woods, in the midst of Big E spearing Darren Young out of the ring, Xavier Woods tried to take advantage and roll up Titus O'Neil, and then Titus kicked out. Xavier charges him, and Titus hit him with a real cool sit-down spinebuster, and then got the 1-2-3. My jaw dropped because I honestly didn't expect the Primetime Players to win the Tag Team Championships. I thought that New Day would hold on to the belts until SummerSlam and most likely drop them to the Lucha Dragons. I don't have a problem with the Primetime Players winning the Tag Team Championships, although I would have preferred New Day retain so they could continue their run as champs and then ultimately drop the belts at SummerSlam or even Night of Champions to the Lucha Dragons. But other than that, this match was decent. It's something you would expect from Raw. It's what you would expect from a Raw tag team match. But the New Day did get in some nice innovative offense. I would definitely give them that. And yeah, we'll see how long Primetime Players hold on to the tag team championships. Finally, we get to the main event, and this undoubtedly was an incredible main event. I mean, these two guys had a lot to follow up from from Owens versus Cena 2, but these two ultimately delivered. It was the ladder match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins defending against Dean Ambrose. This was an awesome ladder match. I mean, it was a very unorthodox ladder match in the sense that they didn't use the ladder that much. This was more of a fight, more of a brawl with some real good storytelling. You had Seth Rollins attack Dean Ambrose with a steel chair. He would use the steel chair on Ambrose's leg when Ambrose was attempting to climb the ladder. And then throughout the rest of the match, Rollins would work on Ambrose's leg. He even went as far as executing a figure 4 leg lock around the ring post. We haven't seen that in years. I'm talking back in the Attitude Era, when Bret Hart made that move famous. So that was really cool to see. And like I said, the storytelling was real good. It was an unorthodox ladder match, but I enjoyed it. There were some good spots with the ladder. Seth Rollins at the end, towards the end of this match, he went sadistic. I mean, he wanted to end Ambrose's career, kayfabe-wise, and he was beating him down with everything. He powerbombed him twice against the barricade, and then he powerbombed him onto a ladder that had steel chairs laid out on it, and then he pushed the ladder down on Ambrose. So he had Ambrose buried under ladders and chairs. I mean, it was crazy. Seth Rollins, storyline kayfabe wise, really went out there to prove that he could beat Dean Ambrose on his own. and regain his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He didn't need the Authority, he didn't need J&J Security, and he didn't need Kane to regain the championship. And I think as a performer in this match, Seth Rollins really solidified himself as the top heel in the company, not named Kevin Owens, and really solidified himself as a strong, respectable WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Like I said, there were some good spots in this match. They didn't use the ladder a lot, but I had no problem with that because this match was just a damn good match because of what Rollins and Ambrose did out there. I mean, once again, I'm really happy they got the chance to main event their second pay-per-view in a row together with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line. And Ambrose, I mean, his performance in that match, fighting through an injured leg, injured left leg, I believe, to really just try and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I know Lundrick in his review said that one thing that egged him on, that like bothered him, was the whole fact that after all the punishment Ambrose suffered, especially on the outside when he got power bombed and was buried under a ladder, that he no-sold that thing. To me, I didn't even really trip over that, because if you look at the way he was like trying to get back up, I saw that as like, this is his last ditch effort, his last, chance at preventing Rollins from regaining the title, So I had no problem with that. Like, I understand where Lundrick's coming from, but me personally, I had no problem with that, because the way I saw it was Ambrose is willing to do whatever he can to win the title. And, like, he's that one foil that Rollins can't get rid of no matter what Rollins does. I mean, Rollins could put him through a flaming table, and he could still, with whatever's left in whatever ounce of life he has left in his body, still climb and still fight until he gets what he wants. So, I mean, kudos to Dean Ambrose for a great performance. Kudos to both guys for a great performance in an incredible ladder match. And then the ending kind of threw me off, because what happened was you had Rollins appeared to grab the title, and then Ambrose came from behind and tried to grab it from over Rollins' head, and then they had a struggle, and Rollins ultimately let go of the belt, and they both fell off. But in the end, Rollins had the belt in his possession, so Rollins was ultimately deemed the victor. Kind of a weird finish, but not as bad as you would expect, because when I saw it, I was like, what just happened? Did it end in a draw? Are they going to restart the match? But no, Rollins was declared the winner. Yeah, sorry about that long pause. But yeah, Rollins was declared the winner. I have no complaints with this match, because I just thought it was awesome. What an incredible ladder match. Definitely the match of the night. I mean, like I said, these guys had a lot to follow up with, especially after that incredible Owens-Cena rematch. But once again, kudos to Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Hell of a main event. 4 3/4 stars. And if this is indeed the last pay-per-view meeting between these two for a while, if this is indeed the definitive conclusion to their feud, then they ended their feud on one hell of a high note, because this has more of a closed feeling to it than when they met up at Hell in a Cell back in October. So yeah, guys, overall, Money in the Bank 2015, I thought was a very good show, entertaining for the most part, fun to sit through. I was not disappointed with anything besides the result of Owens versus Cena and the ending of the Ryback Big Show Intercontinental Championship match. But overall, this show is definitely worth checking out. 8.5 out of 10. I think this is the second best show of the year, with WrestleMania 31, of course, being the best show of this year so far. We got Battleground coming up in 5 weeks, so we'll see what happens from there. One last thought about the show. I really enjoyed the tributes that the Superstars and Divas did for Dusty Rhodes throughout the show. We had the traditional 10-bell salute kick off the show. And if you look closely, I believe I saw Paige. I believe I saw her crying at the end of the 10-bell salute. And then before her match, she dedicated the match to Dusty. When she finished her promo, she said for Dusty, and I thought that was really cool. Dean Ambrose did a sign of the cross, and then he pointed up. as he was making his entrance. So that was definitely a little sign of respect towards Dusty. And then he did the variation of the bionic elbow from the top of the ladder onto Seth Rollins. So that was really cool to see. It was just really nice to see how this show paid how the superstars and divas paid their respects to the late great Dusty Rhodes throughout the show. So like I said, guys, this is definitely a show worth checking out. A lot better than Elimination Chamber, that's for damn sure. And now we're on the road to Battleground. So thanks again, guys, for listening and watching. Leave your comments below. Like I said, match ratings in the description box as always. Click on the subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos. Let me know what you thought of the show. Let me know what you think of Sheamus being Mr. Money in the Bank. I mean, do you really see him cashing in and being WWE World Heavyweight Champion by the end of this year? Or do you see him dropping the briefcase to Ambrose, Reigns, or hell, even Kevin Owens if, Owens manages to rebound big time from the loss to Cena? I don't think this personally hurt Kevin Owens in a huge way, the loss to Cena. But that did derail a bit of his momentum, which is unfortunate. But like I said, guys, still check out that rematch. Still check out the show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Have a nice evening or have a nice day, depending on when you're listening to this. And I'll see you all down the road.